If you're a millennial or a Gen Zer, revolvers might sound like old school, right? Like something Grandpa rocked back in the day. Didn't know about the Smith Wesson Model 29 being dubbed the world's most powerful handgun once upon a time? No judgment here. Clint Eastwood made that gun a legend over 50 years ago. And sure, since then, its chambering has been eclipsed by some heavy hitters like the 480 Ruger, 475 Linebaugh, 454 Casull, the 460 and 500 Smith Wesson Magnum, and just recently, the 500 Bushwhacker. But if you think the demand for 44 Magnum revolvers would die down, think again. To many wheelgun aficionados out there, the good old 44 Magnum revolver still holds a special place, especially for bear defense or hunting. Besides, there's no free lunch. Those more powerful cartridges I mentioned, they all have a heavier recoil. So, for all you 44 Magnum revolver lovers out there, this vid's for you. Number 6. Ruger Super Red Hawk. Landing at the number 6 spot, we've got the Ruger Super Red Hawk. Let me break this one down for you, starting with the basics. This beauty has a 7.5-inch barrel, stretches to 13 inches overall, and holds 6 rounds. It's got a satin stainless finish, a ramp front sight, an adjustable rear sight, and weighs in at 53 ounces. Got a price tag of $1,469, but hey, quality ain't cheap. Now here's where it gets juicy. This revolver's got a triple locking cylinder, locking up at the front, rear, and bottom. That means every time you take a shot, you can trust it's gotta be steady and on point. The stainless steel construction, it's ready to stand up to whatever you throw at it. And for those big game loads, the frame's been beefed up in all the right spots. The Hogue Tamer monogrip looks unremarkable, to be honest, but there's a sneaky little recoil cushion right under the grip, making sure those powerful shots don't leave your hand feeling like it went 10 rounds with a jackhammer. The barrel's been cold hammer forged, ensuring some tight rifling for better accuracy and a longer lifespan. And for my hunters out there, this one's got built-in mounts on the barrel rib for your scope rings. Neat. But let's be real. While the Ruger Super Red Hawk is solid, it might not be the sharpest shooter on the block compared to some of the others higher up on our list. Still, this beast is built to last. It's going to outlive most things, and that's saying something. Now, about that price tag. Ruger's prices have climbed a lot over the years. Whether it's worth the cash is a debate usually split between the Ruger diehards and the Smith & Wesson fanboys. Either way, it's one rugged wheelgun. Number 5. Dan Wesson 744 VH Monson. Okay, let's chat about a true American classic, the Dan Wesson revolvers. These bad boys were every bit as good as the big names like Colt and Smith & Wesson. It's a revolver made with some seriously tough steel, shining with a slick blue finish. Yeah, that's the stuff. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, the 744 VH from good old Monson. Man, this gun is a straight shooter. If you're looking for a revolver that combines style and performance, this is your guy. And guess what? This baby comes with not one, but 2 barrels. A 6-inch for when you're feeling snappy, and an 8-inch for when you want to go long. The real magic? The double action trigger. It's smooth as butter. And if you've ever shot a Python or a Model 29, this one's right up there. Maybe even better. In single action mode, it's so sensitive that some joke even a mosquito's touch could fire it off. And believe it or not, it can nail a target with a tight 1.5-inch grouping from 100 yards out using the built-in sights. Impressive, right? But hey, every legend has its challenges. Their main guy, Dan Wesson, passed away in 1978. The company had some rough times. Even though their revolvers were selling like hotcakes, outdated equipment and money troubles led them to bankruptcy by 1990. They tried bouncing back and even switched things up by moving and adding more guns to their lineup, but the financial hits just kept coming. Eventually, Česká zbrojovka scooped them up. Now for the bummer news. You can't just walk into a store and buy a new 744 VH anymore. But if you ever spot one at a gun auction, especially if it's in mint condition and priced under $1,200, jump on it. The Dan Wesson 744 VH will give every other revolver on this list a run for its money. Number 4. Smith Wesson Performance Center Model 629 Hunter. Number 4 shouldn't come as a surprise. With an MSRP of $1,589, this Model 629 ain't your granddaddy's wheelgun. Now, any firearm coming from Smith & Wesson's Performance Center isn't just another assembly line piece. They take it old school. Think artisans doing hand cutting, meticulous fitting, and tuning these bad boys to precision. It's a marriage of classic craftsmanship and today's high-tech goodies. The Model 629 Hunter, well, it's got the bells and whistles. First off, the action is custom tuned, making it smooth like butter. Built from stainless steel, its two-tone finish gives it that sleek, standout look. The barrel has some cool touches like a dovetailed front sight, an integral Picatinny rail, and a custom muzzle brake. But the real cherry on top, the UTG tactical red/green dot optical sight that comes with it. This optic's got a 4 MOA dot and weighs just over 9 ounces, making it a perfect match for this hunting sidearm. When you get your hands on this, you'll instantly feel the quality. The cylinder is rock solid with zero wobble. It screams premium and boasts all those fine touches and finishes that make it an elite hunting handgun. Now, don't get me wrong. It's near perfect, and I'd argue it could have been the king of the hill. But there are a couple of other revolvers that, just by hair, have a slight edge over it. Let's talk specs. It's got a width of 1.7 inches, a length of 14 inches, and it stands 6.1 inches tall. Weighing in at 61.9 ounces, this 44 Magnum powerhouse has a capacity of 6 rounds and offers both single and double action. The 7.5-inch barrel, it's all stainless steel, and so is the frame. And for those who love details, it's got a chrome hammer, chrome trigger with a stop, and of course, that sweet PC-tuned action. In short, if you're looking for top tier with a side of style, the Model 629 is your ticket. It's decked out, ready to roll, and is waiting for its place in your collection. Number 3. Magnum Custom Colt Anaconda. Coming in hot at number 3 on our list is the Colt Anaconda 8-inch Magnum Custom 44 Magnum. With a price tag of $3,529, this bad boy is a solid bang for your buck. Manufactured in 2021, it's Colt's fresh take on their classic Anaconda, throwing back to the good old days while adding some new school cool. Comparing it to the original version, it's like the Anaconda went to the gym and bulked up. Longer cylinder, bigger frame, wider strap, everything's been beefed up. The action smoother, kinda like the new Python. The double action pull feels way less hefty, and while the single action pull is around 6 pounds, it's smooth as butter. Now, here's where things get really cool. This revolver took a trip to Magnaport, and boy did it make a difference. If you've ever felt the kick of a 44 Magnum, you know it can be a bit wild. But with the Magnaport custom job, it's a whole lot tamer, helping you nail that follow-up shot if needed. On top of all that, it's decked out with a Burris 227x32 handgun scope. Finding a Picatinny rail for this guy might have been a pain, but the result is worth it. The scope's clear, sharp, and perfect for those longer shots. If you were thinking of hunting with this, imagine chilling in a tree stand or ground blind, lining up that perfect shot, and bam, dinner's served. The Galco Kodiak chest holster is the cherry on top. Ever carried a big revolver all day? Not the comfiest, right? Well, this holster changes the game. Designed like a modern backpack, it spreads the weight out, making it feel almost like it's not there. Number 2. Matiba Uni 6. And at number 2 is this Italian masterpiece whipped up by Emilio Gisoni, the same genius gun designer behind the Chiappa Rhino. Finding a Uni 6 in the US is difficult. Most folks end up with the Rhino 60DS, which, funny enough, got called ugly because of its rhino nose barrel, but it's now a hot favorite. If we're talking rarity, the Uni 6 is like the unicorn of revolvers. Its unique design makes shooting it feel like you're firing a semi-auto pistol. Its upper assembly slides back with each shot, soaking up some recoil, making your next shot quicker and more on point. And again, is the granddaddy of the Rhino with that iconic 6 o'clock barrel that eliminates muzzle rise, allowing for faster and more accurate follow-up shots. Now, I bet some of you gun nerds like myself are itching to point out that these revolvers are old news. And you'd be half right. Matiba started churning them out between 1997 and 2005. Spot an old model for sale? Expected price tag starting at $4,000. But plot twist, an article posted by the Firearm blog from 5 years back says the Matiba Uni 6 is still in the game. Although once made in 2 flavors, 357 Magnum / 38 Special and 44 Magnum / 44 Special, they now just roll with the 44 Magnum / 44 Special. New ones are coming in at about €2,000, equivalent to $2,100 but hardcore fans might have to shell out up to $6,000. If you've got a hankering for one, chat with your local gun store. Hopefully, they've got connections to hook you up. Number 1. Nighthawk Custom NXR. And finally, let's talk about my top pick, the Nighthawk Custom NXR 44 Magnum. Priced at $5,299, this 44 Magnum revolver is in a league of its own as far as performance and craftsmanship. Diving straight into it, the NXR has landed a spot in the iconic lineup of Korth revolvers. What makes it stand out? Well, for starters, it's got a 6-shot 44 Magnum chambering. That alone gets me hyped, but it doesn't stop there. This bad boy comes with a 6-inch hammer-forged precision barrel, so you can bet on it when it comes to accuracy. Now, let's talk about looks. The entire piece is draped in a sleek DLC finish. We're talking durability that meets drop-dead gorgeous style. And just to add a cherry on top, the NXR has a ventilated barrel housing. That means even after some heavy-duty shooting, this beast cools down faster than you can say reload. Speaking of customizing, the NXR's got all the bells and whistles. It's decked out with an integrated Picatinny rail on the frame. Want to slap on an accessory or two? They've even added an extra rail below the barrel. And for those who want precision, the adjustable rear sight combined with removable side panels on the front sight ensures you get your aim spot on, no matter where you're shooting. Oh, and that grip? Pure Turkish walnut. Not only does it make the NXR look like it means business, but it feels like a dream in hand. The NXR also makes reloading a breeze with its wide swinging cylinder. Whether you like shooting in single or double action, it's got you covered with its versatile trigger. Plus, the new Korth cylinder release is just icing on the cake. And that's our list of the best 44 Magnum revolvers. Think other wheel guns should have made the list too? Comment below. Please like, share, subscribe, and click on the bell icon for more of these videos. Thanks for watching.